Hey, what's up? Welcome to NOFO Leaders in Cars, drinking coffee, little interview for y'all students and for our friends. And so we are drinking some Ethiopian coffee right now. And John, I'm gonna have to ask you to take a sip and then explain to me what notes are you tasting in there?
Note?
Yeah, there's 3 flavored notes specific to
flavors. Dude, you're too high tone for me. Like, it's a little bit of a little lemony though.
There is lemon.
Okay, I got that. I got lemon.
There's 2 more.
Banana?
No, there's another.
Dude, it's dark chocolate, man. That's all it is.
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Well, you have a very unsophisticated palate, and people have been saying that about you for years. So, first question for you.
Yeah.
What is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh man, I got a lot of them, but this one I was a freshman in college, and I have a big ego. And when people don't know this, I have an ego problem, a lot of pride.
People don't know that.
Yeah, don't know that. And so I got asked to run track for the in my little college fraternity thing. I thought, sure, I can do this. And they said, you're going to run the 800. And I didn't know what that even meant. So I was like, sure, sounds good. So I showed up, and they said, well, you got to run around the track as fast as you can twice. And I was like, okay, like fast, like sprint fast? I said, yeah. So we sprinted around, and they was like, I don't care. You just give me last place. We just need some participant. And I was like, no problem. I was winning, and I was so excited. And I came around to the last 100 meters, and my legs stopped moving, and I couldn't go any farther, and everybody started to pass me, and everyone was screaming, and I crossed the line. I ended up 5th place. I fell on the ground, and I lost control of my bladder. I had no feelings. I was paralyzed from the waist down, and it just was wet from the waist down. Let's just say that. With all my friends and cute girls, it was terrible.
that was a couple weeks ago, right? Or was that when was that?
Next question.
Okay. So when was the last time? So you're talking about losing your control of your bladder. When was the last time that you pooped your pants?
Well, that's this is a setup question. I know this is.
Yeah.
I'm in a special club, okay, and it's about pooping your pants club, and it's basically everyone's in the club. It's just when you mature enough to be able to come out. But let's just say I destroyed a Fazoli's. It's not good. It's not good.
If you don't know what Fazoli,
not my fault.
If you don't know what a Fazoli's is, it's a fast food Italian restaurant. And would you say that you shut the restaurant down?
I am not lying. I left some clothing garments in there, and a week later, they were out of business. No lie. In Bedford. It was so terrible. Ask Tracy. It's so bad. It's terrible.
I hope somehow this gets to a Fazoli's manager, and they're like, that was that guy. He shut us down. That's what I'm hoping.
It's a terrible story.
One of my favorite questions to ask leaders or entrepreneurs such as yourself is, people always say this, what would you tell yourself when you were 25? And obviously for you, that's 95 years ago or so.
All right. So I hear you.
I'm sure it's tough for you right now because you're considered high risk because you're over the age of 85. And so,
right.
but if you could build a time machine, go back to the 30s when you were 25 years old, what would you tell yourself?
Man, it's hard not to just take a shot at you right now because I do know that you have an elevated social, level here in the community, but I'll let that fly. But the thing that I wish that if I could tell myself is don't fight it. Don't fight my faith and going all in and believing it, and that I wish I would have had some mentors that I truly searched and looked for, and that were Christian businessmen, that were good, husbands, and I just copied them. I didn't have that, around me, and I wasn't thinking about it, and I didn't attract it into my life. And so I just went for years until I met people like that. And when I did, I was like, that's what I want. What are they doing? And I was like, wow, oh, they're flawed, they're messed up, they're just like me, but they have such a sense of peace. And it's just awesome. So I would just look for some mentors of people that things that you want.
So you were alive during the Spanish flu in 1920, and you went through really the 1800s and lived through kind of all that pandemic. Like, what would you tell students and young people and people as they go through this tough season with coronavirus?
Well, I'll let that all your shots just kind of go over, because I know you're struggling and you have low self-esteem, and so it feels good to put me down. But I would say this: if do not buy into all the craziness and the media and the negativity that's going on. Yes, there's some bad things going on, but you have to approach things with a sense of calmness. Be a leader and be a model citizen, and be the calming influence. And to do that, what helps most, I think, is when you just find some peace in the Word and in the Bible. And if you can just spend a couple minutes just reading a few things and just repeat those things throughout the day, and anytime you see something negative, just go back to that passage and that word, and because listen, there's been all this crazy stuff that's happens every 25 years, something big and crazy. This is unprecedented, and this too will pass. This too will pass. And just keep your head right and above water. The world's not ending.
Yeah. I think that's so important for young people. What you put in your mind matters. The fuel that you feed yourself matters. It's so important. First thing in the morning, especially, and especially because we're all out of school, so we spend so much more time on social media. Careful what you're putting in your head. Stay positive. Stay of faith. Keep trusting in God. Last question.
No, I'm so nervous.
So you posted a story on one of Pastor Nate's posts not too long ago about the craziest thing you've ever done. Now, I just need you to tell everybody what it was, and then tell people not to do it.
Okay, this is... Why do I have to do this? This is terrible. So, I was not a good person for most of my life. And I'm just in a good place now. But as a kid, we backed up to a little fork in the Trinity River over in southwest Fort Worth. And so in big rainstorms, we were about a mile down from the big overflow dam. And so when you go drive by a dam, you see all the water rushing out. Well, we were about a mile down from that, but the river would just get really flooded, like 10 feet high. Well, it was really neat. So we would go down, and this river would go by all these big, beautiful houses. And so we would go and jump in the river, and then we would go and as we were going down the river, and there's logs and all this stuff, and we knew the river well, but we would hold on to the tree limbs behind these houses, and we would yell and make noises, and people would hear us from their houses, and they think we're stuck in the river, and they were like, oh, and they were gonna come out and help us. And then we let go and floated down the river and got out down the river.
Would you just scream like,
ah! And it was just like people thought they lost kids in a rapid river. And it was so terrible. And it's just not a good thing.
And so you would tell students if they're watching...
Yeah, it was...
You're not going to tell them not to do that?
No, it's not good.
Okay.
Just stay away from high water.
Yeah.
It's very bad. And that if you're around that, just know you're a bad person. Don't do it.
That's a good way to end. Hey, we love y'all. God
love
bless.
you guys.
Talk to you later.